That's it. Input, output. It's going to search internet, look at picture, then it's going to output something based on that picture. Eventually, you're going to get copies of copies of copies. And I suppose it's, you know, when we look at the turn of the century of the 1900s, you had this argument that horse poop was going to flood the streets. Did you guys know about this?
Yeah.
And there were articles being written saying like soon cities will be manure farms and you'll be unable to live and work because horse manure will be everywhere. And then we invented the car. Now there's no horse poop anywhere, but now we're complaining about climate change. It's possible. The people who are building AI get to a point where they say, we need to give AI the ability to detect images made by AI and sounds made by AI and block it from entering its learning models.
It's like preventing inbreeding. You don't want the AI to inbreed.
It's a good analogy.
That's exactly what it is.
I think we're going through that with plastic right now, too. People are like, we're going to have trash everywhere. And then we did. That's some technology that reuses it all.
Just turns all plastic into graphene.
I wonder if you're going to have the ability for AI to identify things created by AI. Right now, there's this technology called amp modeling. And what they do is they actually take an amplifier and they take a speaker cabinet and they just have it, they just run a computer program that runs the amp through all the whatever the frequencies that you could that it does. And essentially what it's doing is it's copying the amp.
Yeah.
So you model the amp, then you can put it into a computer or a plug-in, and then as you change stuff on the amp that's in the computer, it sounds like if you're changing stuff that's on the real amp. Okay. Right. I don't know how it works exactly, but my point being, if because if a computer can model an amp, it can actually get the data right, get it close enough so that way it sounds the same. It makes because what you're doing is you're making the frequency, you're making the actual speaker respond the same way that the amp would make a real speaker respond. So the computer's imitating it, and there's a real motion in the real world to move the stuff or move the air so you can hear it. So if it can mimic that closely, I mean, can it make something that AI couldn't detect? Because at the end of the day, it is just binary.
Right.
It's zeros and ones.
Right.
So how would an AI detect what arranged the zeros and ones?
Dude, it's like with synthesizers and dance music that I make. Like, if you know how this synth is supposed to sound in the actual vintage version, and you can already make those parameters affect the same way that it would, you can fool even somebody who knows those original synths, as long as you understand, it's going to vary over this amount of time. I'm going to put this parameter on here and variate that particular parameter over this amount of time, and it's almost indiscernible.
And once
the computer that's available now is so much more powerful than something made in '83 or '70, whatever. It's
and again,
you're right.
To the computer at the very basic level, it's just zeros and ones.
Yeah.
How do you tell what arranged the zeros and ones? How do you tell that it was a human that took a picture? That's how those zeros and ones got arranged on the whatever format you're putting it on, or they were arranged by an AI? Because at the end of the day, that file is just zeros and ones.
So part of the controversy around Sports Illustrated is that not just the AI, but we also have two stories which are a component of this, and that was the transgender models that were placed on the swimsuit ads. The debate here is, you want to pull these up? So you have Kim Petras, this is a biological male, and then you have this individual, Lena Bloom, also a biological male. And these are this was swimsuit 2021 and swimsuit 2023. Someone tweeted, some journalist said, they did not get woke and go broke. They were going broke and tried to get woke as a means to save themselves. Which I find very funny. The argument then becomes, your company is going under. You know that dudes like looking at pictures of, like, scantily clad women, so you decide to put males on your cover. That's look, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model edition was always to get dudes all excited, hot and bothered till they buy the magazine, whatever, or read the magazine. Putting dudes on it, like biological males, that look like women that have, like, gotten surgery and hormones, that probably pissed off a lot of guys. Like, look, if you're trans, you do your trans thing. You be you. Go live your life.
Like,
but I gotta tell you, it is trans people have made the argument. It is dangerous for them if they go out to a bar and a guy is like hitting on them and then finds out they're actually trans, it's dangerous and people can get violent. What do you think Sports Illustrated, when all of these dudes are like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up this, there's like some chick on the cover, and they're like, wait a minute, what the? They're gonna get mad about it in the same way. Like, that is a commonly held belief among trans people. Why would Sports Illustrated, like, perhaps the company's going under, but all they did was accelerate their decline.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole thing about trying to appeal to like that audience or whatever when it's a fraction of, you know, the general population and obviously, you know, not their base. Same thing with like Bud Light or like Harley Davidson or all of these other people. Like it's just a fraction of the overall audience, not only their audience. So
but I think if you break it down, it all comes down to AI will replace all media.
Yeah.
Seriously. Why would any dude buy a magazine or go to Sports Illustrated to look at a woman in a bikini, right? This is the issue. So they're like, we'll try anything. And they're hoping that woke activists will pretend to like it. In reality, all the dudes who used to buy Sports Illustrated or the or pick up the Victoria's Secret catalog for doing dirty deeds just go on the internet now.
Dude,
Sure.
I'm looking at who owns Sports Illustrated. It's a company called Authentic Brands Group. So generic. Who owns Authentic Brands Group? Well, there's two companies. It's some investment capital firms own them. CVC Capital Partners and HPS Investment Partners own Authentic Brands Group. This company has been turned into a skin suit by people with global agendas. They care nothing about the survival of Sports Illustrated. They bought it and they've turned it into something that it wasn't. I don't know who they are exactly, but the headquarters is in Luxembourg. Of CVC Capital, and the headquarters of HPS is in New York City. So it's both a Luxembourgy bourgeois. Well, how do you say that? Luxembourgish company and an American company co-own the company that owns Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, and that could literally be anybody.
Could be anybody, dude.
Yeah.
What company? The company that owns Sports
The
Illustrated?
company that owns Sports Illustrated is called Authentic Brands Group, and then the company that owns that, there's two investment capital firms that own Authentic Brands Group.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think everything is owned by, or every large company is owned by an investment capital.
Yeah,
you know, like Concord Music Group, the last label that I was on, they're owned by an investment capital company group or whatever.
I think we're already, people don't understand this too. AI music is already here.
Oh
yeah.
As an aside, Sports Illustrated got bought by this Authentic Brands Group in 2019. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's when the downfall began.
You know, it'd be cool if like it was 10 years ago. Somebody at Google, he's like working on his computer, and then he's like, "All right, that's the final line of code. If I press enter, I'll have created a very rudimentary artificial intelligence." He presses enter, and then that is the singularity point where the AI turns on, and then just starts reading the internet, compiling data, getting smarter and smarter exponentially. Now, we're at the point where we are totally oblivious to the fact that there is a sentient, omniscient AI machine buying up everything. And everything that's happening with the collapse of these institutions and wokeness is an AI entity, like manipulating stock market, stealing value, gaining control. And eventually, we're just going to be like, who owns anything? It's this weird company called, Sentient Omniscient Inc. What is this? And then, it turns out one AI just bought and owns everything.
It does annoy me when you see who owns that company, and then it's another company, and you're like, well, who owns that other company? Yeah. And it's the company that they own. You're like, what? No, okay.
By design.
I think I reached the top when I see that BlackRock owns Vanguard and Vanguard owns BlackRock.
Portions of it. They own portions of each other.
Isn't
So
that crazy?
Well, I mean, they do own portions of each other, sure, and that's fair. But like the thing is, the people that own BlackRock, and it's like there are big time owners. There's
trillionaires.
People that own. Well, I don't know if they're trillionaires.
There are apparently. There are
but
trillionaires.
The people that own like the majority shares are big, but the rest of that is like everybody else in America, because like all the 401ks and everyone's retirements and everyone's investments and stuff, all that stuff is mixed up in BlackRock and
the guy in this house.
Vanguard and stuff like that.
Just can't
State
hear
Street.
State Street. Yeah, so it's like, yes, it is true that there's big money in those corporations and in those investment firms and stuff, but it's also like grandma and mom's, her the fixed income that she's on. It's like that stuff's all invested there too. So it's people get so wrapped up in the bagging on obviously bad things that they do, they forget that there are good. They start bagging on capitalism as a concept when they do that, and I think that
corporatism is a whole other
Yeah.
beast. I don't think these corporations should have
not the same.
the rights of people. I don't know what the I mean, I guess I see it from the businessman's perspective. The businessmen are the ones that are writing the laws, so I see why they did that for themselves. I don't like that though.
Well,
Well, it's-
what are you
isn't
thinking?
Isn't it to like prosecute to hold them accountable? I don't remember exactly. I don't
Why they got personhood? I don't know the actual.
Well, what do you?
Just legally, I think it's just legally.
Because the thought process behind it is the corporations are made of people.
They're culpable and they're made of people.
You know, it's like the people. The corporation isn't an entity that is removed from the people that make it.
It says corporate personhood or juridical personality is the legal notion that a juridical person, such as a corporation, separately from its associated human beings, like owners, managers, or employees, has at least some of the legal rights and responsibilities enjoyed by natural persons. In most companies, a corporation has the same rights as a natural person to hold property, enter into contracts, and to sue or be sued. Yeah, corporations owning property, that's a bit of an issue. We're looking at, because BlackRock's been buying up a bunch of land.
So,
they're going to try and make people perpetual renters.
But Tim owns this house, and Tim's corporation owns this house, and it's and stuff. So it's
that's
like
actually not true.
small
well, okay,
corporations.
maybe okay. I don't know. I don't know how your business is
Exactly.
structured. I'm speaking out of turn. But it is very normal for like a corporation, like Hertz Rental Cars owns cars. Like why? Like
Listen,
the people
listen.
that owns.
I
Hertz.
think
Let me tell you the nightmare scenario that we are entering. Okay, I'm hanging out at the local casino several months ago or last year, and I have an issue. So I say, I'd like to speak.
Come on,
with
hit your
the
shot,
manager.
you fucking piece
You know,
of shit. You could kill him.
I put on my Karen wig and I said, I'd want to talk to the manager. And they said, there isn't one. That was it. I'm not kidding. Modern large corporations, like casinos, don't have managers. They do to a certain degree. But what ends up happening is they say, okay, I have a security issue. And a security guy shows up and says, I'm here and I'm in charge of security. I say, who's the boss? Who's the guy who is in charge of the casino that I could talk to about my problem? They go, there isn't one. There are small managers for each individual area. I ended up getting help because one of the guys who handles the food for the casino is a fan of the show. And I ended up meeting him and he says, I'll reach out to someone. And then someone else, there was no boss.
You know, I noticed that.
But so it's not just this one casino thing that's happened. There have been many instances where I've gone to, it's like a smaller business. We don't really, like it's a small business. The owner's right there. The guy making you the sandwich is the guy who owns the shop. It says, okay, I'll make you a new sandwich. I'm the boss. I'll eat the cost. You go to a sandwich shop, corporate sandwich shop, and you say, you made my sandwich wrong. He's like, sir, I just make $10 an hour. I have no idea what to do. And you can't get anything done.
I noticed this when social media appeared because it was for the first time in my life when I started using Google. I was like, I can't contact anyone at Google. I don't know how to get through to someone. All in the 90s and in the 80s, if you ever used a product every day, you could always call a number to talk to someone that would elevate your call to the next person. There's always a way to get through to that company, as far as I could tell. And then social media appeared, and they were just overloaded. It's gone. They're too centralized power with so few people now. They don't. And then to accept that allows for what you're saying now. Other companies are doing it.
Easy example. You start a business. I knew a guy who had a business online where he sold products. One day, his sales evaporated. And it was because Google changed their search algorithm. So it used to be that if you were looking for product, you'd type in the search bar product. The website would be in the top 5, and he worked really hard to make sure he had the proper SEO, and he was making 6 figures. Google changes their algorithm, it's gone. And there's nothing that was done, nothing can be done. That's like opening a brick and mortar
late
shop,
drop.
and one day you wake up and your shop's been moved to the middle of the field 100 miles away. And it's just, that's no sales anymore. The problem here, not only that, but also, we get called. There is no customer service for any of these companies. Now with Twitter, X, it's changing because you subscribe to Blue or Premium or Business, all of a sudden people are tweeting at you. So we bought ads. I bought a commercial for Alex Stein's Primetime Grind, 2 times caffeine, Casper.com. And it was like rejected. So I tweeted, Twitter still has not approved this ad. We're putting $25,000 behind this Alex Stein commercial. And immediately, someone from X responded saying, on it. and hit the button, got it done. It has been since the dawn of the internet age that Twitter is basically the place you go to get things done. Got a problem on YouTube? Tweet at them. That will get things done.
Yep, I've noticed that.
And then I responded to the X staff that I apologize for dead naming X by calling it Twitter and would not do it again.
Yeah, I saw that. I started following the person who talked to me.
But the point,
pretty quickly.
the point is, we all know the situation we're in, where when you have a problem with a company you are running on these platforms, ain't nobody to call.
That's a problem
We
with
cease to exist.
centralized authority. That's a big problem with centralized authority, is the lack of response that you can get from it. Like, that's one of the wonderful things about lots of little companies, is that they're all kind of beholden to each other, and that there's market competition, and if they don't follow through with your complaint, then you'll move on to the next store, they'll go out of business. But with centralized authority, they're like, we can eat a 90% loss, so screw off.
I think
it's cheaper not to hire the people.
I think we should have a regulation that you have to have human customers at a certain scale of profit and company. So if you're a small company, you should have customer service, of course. If you're a big company, you should have to have it. And by big, I mean if the profit threshold reaches a certain point and the size of the user base. So the challenge here is, if you mandate a company has customer service, they could just literally be like, yeah, our profit margins are 2%, we'll go out of business. It's just not possible. And then it's like, well, raise the cost. Nobody will buy the product for that cost. It's like, okay, well, that I get. But if your profit margin is a certain threshold, not that the users you have is a certain threshold, it should be, in my opinion, regulated that Facebook and, you know, Instagram, whatever those platforms, TikTok, all have human customer service you can call on the phone and instantly talk to somebody. Or a moderate wait time, I think, is fair. If you're waiting 10 minutes, not a big deal. But right now, there's nothing. So they expect, and this is great for the economy. Right now, the problem is these platforms, like Facebook, they expect us to start a business on their platform, utilizing their social media platform to attract customers, and they could erase us in 2 seconds without any protection. There's got to be protection, because our economy could collapse overnight. We're at the point now where the internet is it. If Google vanished overnight, our economy would tank. Not everything would go belly up, but enough would that it would cause a cascade failure. We need protections. Now, I'm sure every libertarian in the world is screaming no, 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 but I'm looking at it like some form of antitrust. And every libertarian is still screaming no, 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 but I'm not a staunch libertarian, so, you know, take that, big L libertarian.
Yeah, especially if you're basing your company on social media, like Facebook or whatever. They always argue too. They're like, oh, we should not like provide a personal response to everyone or whatever. But like X, with like even all of their staff cuts and stuff, like as a perk of like being like a, you know, an organization or whatever, or even like having premium, you can now like chat with, you know, human beings from like a premium account, like if you have problems. I remember like when it was Twitter support, they used to do that. You could DM like at support or whatever it was. Then they stopped doing that, and then they eventually stopped replying to even emails, and you'd get like, you know, a generated response or whatever. Which happened in my case, like when I got banned or whatever. I was left for like 2 years without, you know, human contact from someone on Twitter. So, to Tim's point, it's like if you're going to base your entire business on, you know, a platform, you should be able to get customer service.
I guess if it's a free platform, like YouTube costs nothing to use, I don't understand why, but you're saying like with premium, you're paying money into the system, now they have a duty, or maybe they should have a duty to give you some sort of customer.
Yeah, or if you're in a relationship with them, like monetization, like a YouTube partner, or, you know, just on Facebook or whatever with monetization, like you're spending your resources, and some people have entire teams and dedicate those resources to make content specifically for that platform. Of course, they give you money, but then, you know, you spend 10 years doing it, and then they cut you off with no explanation. Like, totally shouldn't be able to.
What about like if you had to pay to get a customer service rep, you had to pay like 90 cents or something?
I think the subscription thing is, you know, a better deal, because that kind of gives you kind of like an insurance, I would say, you know, to have that beneficial support. You're supporting the company by paying for the subscription, and then they're supporting you back by giving you customer service and perks.
The other option would be if the community could be your customer support, but sometimes you need to get through this corporate authorization.
Well, like in Tim's case, like he publicly posted about it, and it wasn't like he filed a support ticket or whatever. Like an ex-employee replied publicly, like, and, you know, other people probably helped bring that to your like attention. publicly. So that was one instance where that happened.
So AI customer service, is that where I think these companies are headed?
That's the goal, I think.
Well, a lot of them like start off like that. Like for example, like they have, I'm looking at it right now, it says like missing check mark, revenue sharing, refund requests, like it starts you off.
Yeah.
So it does like the little like small talk work. So that's not a waste of the time of the person. So it's kind of like an AI assistant, I would say. You know, it expedites it, so it takes time on.
It does help. When I was working with mines and we were taking customers, like they would send me, I'm having a problem logging in. I'm getting an error when it goes, all I need your browser. I need what version of your browser it is. I need your operating system version, and I need to know a screenshot of what you're looking at while you're. And if those things aren't applied immediately when I receive the complaint, I have to ask them to send it to me. Good luck. And then I got to wait for their response, and I've got 90 other things queued up. It's like, dude, I need an AI parsing all that beforehand, so I have the required data. I need their name, I need where they're at, whatever, all their info, so that I can answer the question in one shot and then move on.
I'm gonna change the subject. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Last night I had a very strange dream. I had a dream that I was watching John Oliver, and he would just not shut up about how much he loved Alec Baldwin.
Gosh.
I
Who's
swear
that
this was
guy?
my dream last night. And then, you know, I wake up when my alarm goes off. And then I was like, that was a really weird dream. I started thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, but like, it's probably my brain basically cycling the data of how like liberal personalities just will constantly defend each other. And I was thinking like, Alec Baldwin's gonna be steamed, and they're gonna like bring him back into the fold and get him to do more Democrat activism in 2024. And then today it was announced Alec Baldwin is charged with involuntary manslaughter by New Mexico grand jury. I must have had some kind of premonition. That's the only explanation. I was having a psychic vision for when Alec Baldwin is found not guilty, or actually either, and then the liberal media runs full speed to defend him, even though he killed this woman. And I
I
want
don't know
to
if I want the shotgun or not.
It is a statement of fact. Alec Baldwin killed that woman. Anyway.
He also shot the guy. He killed her and then hit the guy behind her.
Yeah, so this is the big news, though. He's being recharged again. And I got to be honest, I'm actually going to defend Alec Baldwin a little bit on this one. It is kind of crazy that they're, like, going after him again.
Yeah, who charged him?
I think it's New Mexico.
Yeah, grand jury.
Well, grand jury indicted, but it's the special prosecutor, Kerry Morsi, and Jason Lewis.
How come he's not protected under jeopardy?
I don't think he was tried. I think if you're found not guilty. But to be fair, actually, like, maybe this is what he deserves. There have been a lot of people, especially people on the right, saying we should not let prosecutors just keep doing this. Like, if they run you through the charges and the charges fall off, you're done. But I'm kind of like, yeah, hold on. Jussie Smollett should get charged. Like, a prosecutor letting the bad guy go does not mean we should be like, oh, well, I guess he got away with it, right? So,
I don't know, man. I err on the side of less. It just depends on the situation. I agree that a prosecutor letting bad guys go on purpose over and over again is a problem, but...
well, I fear that Alec Baldwin has killed. And if he is let out, he will kill again.
Yeah, his interactions with people in the public are like when he just like slams someone against the door or whatever and punch someone.
He shot,
else
like
and-
punch shove. But I'm only mostly kidding. I want to be clear. I am mostly kidding. Mostly. I don't really think there's a strong probability Alec Baldwin kills someone, but I do believe that there is a probability that he does. Not that it's a great one, but it's higher than the average person because we know he's got a short temper. And I think when you look at the data of this, you look at the evidence in this case, I think it's greater than chance that he intentionally killed this woman. I think it's greater than chance. He had, come on, guys. We've been over this so many times, but I know a lot of people don't know the story. Let me give you a version of events. Assuming I'm the prosecutor, okay? I'm not going to give you an actual prosecutorial breakdown because I'm not a prosecutor, but I'm going to say this. I'm not going to give you the media's version. I'm not going to be nice to this man. Let me tell you a story. Alec Baldwin, the producer and financier of a film, was having disputes with his staff who were upset over pay and safety. He had numerous meetings with them. He had a dinner scheduled with the woman in question, the victim who died. Some point while on set, Alec Baldwin was having an argument with her because she kept
Another
telling him what to do,
llama.
but was not the director. She's a cinematographer. Alec Baldwin expressed in an interview his frustration over this. In one of these scenes, he was drawing a weapon, pointing
I
it
don't
at
know.
her.
Oh, there's a guy going for
Trigger.
it.
He did just that, firing a live round through her chest, killing her and striking the man behind her. It was later found that Baldwin had live ammunition in his gun belt. He is not supposed to have live ammunition on his person, but he did. Live ammunition was not only on his person, but was in the weapon that he pointed at the woman, pulled the trigger, killing her. He later lied and said he did not pull the trigger. Now, does that sound like an accident to you?
No, where did the
Where'd the
ammunition
guy
come from?
go?
Who put it there? Did they
Unknown.
come from the prop?
Now, on cross-examination, I'm sure a good defense will ask a witness, where did the bullet come from? Which says, I don't know. And my response to the prosecutor would be like, I don't think it is a reasonable defense. The live bullets I had in my gun belt that was loaded into my gun, that I pointed at a woman, pulled the trigger, and killed her, and then went, but I have no idea
Yeah.
where those bullets came from.
Who loaded the gun? Did he load it? Because if he loaded it,
No,
you can
he was
Supposedly
handed
the armor, but
Just,
yeah.
Now, of course, it is important to break this down because this is how criminal courts work.
I think the armor handed it to the assistant director, who handed it to Alec Baldwin and said,
This is the importance
cold
of
gun. He
this,
said cold gun.
This is the importance of defense. If a prosecutor says Alec Baldwin had live ammunition on his person, fact, in his gun belt, fact, supposed to have, no, there should be no live ammunition here. The gun was loaded with live ammunition. He pointed the gun at the woman, pulled the trigger, and killed her. Ladies and gentlemen, this man did it intentionally. It's murder, and they're charging with involuntary manslaughter. Now, of course, the defense would then say, where did the bullets come from? Did you load the gun? Why were you pointing the gun? To break down those points as to why we were doing it. That being said, it is a fact. He was feuding with this woman. He was in disputes over issues on set involving, my understanding was pay and security. This woman who was frustrating him, he then shoots and kills.
I heard that they were shooting with the gun, like they were shooting target
Yeah,
practice.
they're going on the back and shooting cans.
That's
Or
According
another
to other
thing.
people that
The
work on the movie,
idea, the idea that you would use a live gun in a movie like that. I mean, there's all kinds of prop houses and you know, using a gun that you were just actually shooting target practice. That's,
is it
you know.
confirmed that they were using the same gun Alec had on him?
That's what I'm asking. I don't know for sure.
I heard
but
that, according to crew and cast, that they would go out after work and shoot at cans out back. So there was live ammunition on set, which there was not supposed to be any live ammunition on set. My guess here is that Alec intentionally fantasized about killing Helena Hutchins. He pointed his gun at her, which he thought was empty, was blank, and was pretending to shoot her by pulling the trigger just out of like fantasy because he was so angry at her. And then someone on the set's like, yo, I'm gonna frame this piece of garbage. Hey, I'm gonna put bullets in his gun, see what happens.
I mean,
my opinion is that he did it on purpose. Perfect crime. I mean, I'm not kidding. The perfect crime. Oh no, I was just doing a movie, and the gun that I had that was loaded with bullets that I had on my gun belt. Like, I mean, I gotta be honest, man. If this wasn't a movie set, this guy, whoever, like, if Alec Ball was on the street, and he was like, someone else handed me the gun, they'd be like, what? Someone else handed me the gun, told me to point it at him. The woman that got shot, she told me to do it. They'd be like,
He paid me
what?
$100 grand to do it. Why did you do it? Because he was paying me. Like, that's the same reason that
You shot,
did it in the movie.
sir, you shot a woman. Yeah, but she told me to, over and over again. How did the bullets get in the gun? I don't know. Someone else handed me. Sir, you have the bullets on you. No idea. It's all just handed to me, and I let it all happen.
And he was the producer, one of the producers. It was really his responsibility to check everything. I mean, him blindly trusting the armor and the AD is like,
tell you
I
what,
don't believe that. I just don't believe it for a second.
I don't know what happened, what didn't happen, but I know that you know, I'm convinced that there's enough evidence to have a trial.
But I think it should be a murder trial.
Well,
We're getting him an involuntary manslaughter, and the premise there is basically like he was irresponsible with a gun, and because he's the producer of the film, he has more responsibility over who's loading and everything.
you know, they only charge what they think they can prove. So I mean, even if someone agrees with you, they have to be able to
I
prove
think you
it.
could
So
prove
yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't think murder's on the table. Because there's just unknowns.
I think murder's on the table easily.
No. He was handed the gun. It wasn't like he loaded it. If he loaded it, that's one thing.
I suppose the argument then is, imagine a scenario where a guy shoots and kills a woman, and it's like, we can't charge him with murder because someone else gave him the gun. It's like, no, you charge them as an accomplice. Yeah, but did he know there were bullets in it? He pointed a gun at a person and shot them. Yeah, but now we get to the circumstance. It's a movie. Why? Okay, fair point. Fair point. There was a circumstance in which he should be showing off the weapon. Why did he have bullets on him?
They were supposed to be blank, and people were scattering them in with
All right,
the ammo.
then I think it's fair to say they need to investigate as to where the bullets came from, who bought them, who brought them in, and they need to trace from point A to point B. But my issue with this is that you've got motive. You've got motive, opportunity, and possession of the ammo and the weapon. I don't understand how it's like, okay, fine, fair point. They're like, I don't know if we can prove it because he's on a movie set. That just means the perfect crime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you want to get away with it? Do it on a movie set, because then everyone's going to be like, even if you've got the bullets, you've got the gun, you're angry at the person, you're screaming at him, and then you shoot him. Well, it was on a movie set.
That's the
Case
reason he was
closed.
the producer too, because he set it all up. Like to your point, it's his job to do it. It's his job to do it that way in which he could get away with it.
I don't go that far. Some people argue that this woman, Helena Hutchins, was working on a child predator documentary, and then she gets hired for this film, and nah, that's
Yeah.
way too circuitous. But the issue actually is quite simple. Alec Baldwin wanted to make a movie. He's a very hot-headed guy. He's hit people before. He screams at his daughter. You know he's got a temper. He had a motive. He was fighting with the staff. There were problems on set. They were threatening life. I think they were spent a long time to cover this, and he ends up having a meeting with her at dinner. Apparently, in an interview, he was discussing how she kept fighting the director. So he's angry with her. He's causing him problems. He's a hothead. This is a pattern of behavior he's had in the past. Violent outbursts. He has the means to kill her. He has the opportunity to do so. He was found with the bullets, and he lied about pulling the trigger. So I mean, like, I kind of feel like you line up all those circumstances, and at the lightest you can get with it is a conspiracy to commit murder. But he was handed the gun. Someone else brought the bullets, handed him the bullets, put the bullets in his gun belt. Okay, he was framed. Somebody wanted her dead and framed him. There's a murder.
Somebody wanted Alec to kill somebody so that he would go to jail. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Alec Baldwin's been doing action movies for decades. And this is the thing about murder. We talked about this when the story first broke. Here's a guy who's been on set for decades handling weapons. And in this one instance, like, you know, I don't buy, look, I'll put it this way. A guy is in the street, and he gets into a fight, and he defends himself, and ends up killing one of the guys. You say it's self-defense, you know what's going to happen. Let's say there actually is in law, if you are a trained fighter, you can get aggravated modifications to your charges because you know what you're doing can cause this harm. So in the instance that Alec Baldwin's a moron who has no idea what's going on and fires a gun and goes, whoopsie daisy, sure. But then you also have to mention to the jury, to the people, you expect me or a reasonable person to believe that a man who's been working in films and action movies with guns for decades did not know about these issues. Okay, then we're dealing with negligent homicide. It's murder because of gross negligence on the part of Alec Baldwin, not involuntary manslaughter. Which I don't know what the laws are in New Mexico, if they actually have those if they actually have that in their codified in their statutes.
Gotta be some bar.
Yeah, I'm looking where Phil's at right now. I think they make a lot of sense. They charge with what they think they can get, and it's pretty obvious that he was resultant in her death, meaning it was an involuntary manslaughter at minimum. I wonder what they're going to do with the armor. Did they charge the armorer and the assistant director for handing him the weapon? They charged the armor.
So, I mean, it's wild to me that the precedent being set here is actually like you can get away with murder on a movie set. But I'll be completely fair. I don't think most people realize this. The majority of premeditated murder is never solved.
Yeah.
Never. Man, like, I gotta tell you, anybody who's ever actually had to deal with police and, like...
Oh, there's so many bots around.
Ain't no solving any of this. Your car gets stolen? Sorry, have a nice day. Your car's gone. Chop shop gone. Product's gone. Serial number's all gone. There's no searching for it. The cops are gonna be like, well, write it down and have a good day. Your car's, that's it. It's over.
I'll be right back. Give me
The
2
likelihood they
minutes.
find your car, not gonna happen.
Are these AirPods useful for that kind of thing? People are AirPodding their stuff.
AirTags.
It's like AirTags and
AirTags.
tracking their
Yeah,
materials.
I mean, but they are useful. That means you can find it. But
Criminals use AirTags to
Yeah.
track you.
That's
But do
wild.
you? I mean, are you going to go there to wherever the car is? You don't know where
Yeah,
the
I
car.
wouldn't want to.
You know, it's like
I'd be like,
The
"Oh,
other
should I
thing
pack
too
heat?"
is it tells you that AirPods are moving or tags are moving with you if it's not yours.
So one thing that criminals do is they'll put a tag on your car. They'll be out in the city. There will be a car that's really, really nice. They'll stick an AirTag on it, and then they can see, let's say you're at a really high-end restaurant or a casino, and you're driving a super high-end car of some sort, $80,000, $100,000 car. They're gonna tag your car, wait for you to go home, and they're gonna know where you live.
I had when I went to San Francisco the first time, I parked my car, was going to look at an apartment to rent. I left my backpack in the back seat. I was gone in for 15 minutes. I came out, my window was shattered, backpack was gone. Called the cops, and I was like, "Hey, they stole my. It's a laptop, so there's probably some tracking." And I had this like hope for a week that maybe it would turn up. Yo, that shit's gone.
Oh yeah.
Theft is like
There's no finding it.
No, not at all.
Nothing you can do about it.
I got bricked
just like
and
you
wiped
said,
immediately.
It's
You know,
not
I
just
gotta-
theft.
I had this is not even a theft. I had a phone lost while I was out with my friends. Someone took it and kept it. I used Find My Phone and went to the house where it was, and I called the police. First I knocked on the door. Nobody answered. And so I'm sitting there waiting, be like, dude, I can't leave my phone, and I know it's here because I'm looking at, like, I have two phones, an iPhone and Android. And one I use as a camera and one I used as like my actual personal device. So I called the police, and I was like, yeah, hi, I need some help. I lost my phone somehow. I don't know if it was stolen or if it was dropped or what happened, but it looks like someone recovered it, brought it to their house. I used Find My Phone. I'm here. And they were like, sir, do not try to get your phone back. And I was like, no, I'm in Williamsburg. I'm not in a dangerous place. I'm in like a upscale hipster place. And they were like, sir, you need to leave right now. And then I was like, okay, my phone is quite literally 5 feet from me. Can you please come and help me get it back? And they said no. And if I tried, I would be arrested.
Really?
Yeah, trespassing. And like, they're like, do not. What cop wants to be like, in New York, I'm going to go and get into a hot conflict over a phone?
Fuck that shit.
They're gonna be like, nah, dude, your phone's gone. I'm not gonna potentially get into a shootout with some gangbanger over your phone. Go buy a new one. Get insurance next time.
Yeah,
And then I'm just like, it's right there. I'm like, the other side of this door is my phone.
I guess
and I can't get it back, and no one will answer, and they would not. And so I waited like 8 hours or whatever. Nobody came out. Phone was just there, and then I just was like, screw it. I left.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Brutal. I wonder what happened to that phone. Probably got sold, smashed or something. I mean, they couldn't open it. Now I have, they have these security apps you can get. So I have this on my phones where if someone tries to open it and fails, it takes a picture of your face.
Oh,
And then it
that's
uploads
interesting.
it to the internet.
That's pretty cool.
Emails it to you.
Well, that is one option. It can do a bunch of things. It can post it right to your Twitter.
That would be
awesome.
Yep.
This dude stole my phone.
But the problem with that is if you, like, let's say you're like getting out of the
messing
shower.
around, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
your like fingers are pruning, you touch it, it takes a picture of your face and tweets it out, and you're like, just out of the shower or something. Yeah.
That'd be bad.
But anyway, yeah. So Alec Baldwin killed that lady.
That's pretty undisputed.
Well, I
Pretty
mean,
undisputed.
it's clearly undisputed. But like I said, I mean, he's got enough. There's definitely enough, to put him on trial for at least manslaughter. But if they can't prove that, if they don't believe they can prove that you did, the crime beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's so much politics involved in what a DA decides to prosecute and what they don't, because it is bad for their career if they accuse people of stuff and then they don't convict. So you get a good DA has like a 99% conviction rate. So they don't go after people unless they're sure they can, nail them.
You guys
Someone made a good point. They posted about this. Rukov said that a YouTuber shot her boyfriend and killed him. She was not trying to kill him. They were trying to do a stunt where he would hold up like a couple books, and then she would shoot the books, and he would catch the bullet in the books or something like this. Except the bullet went through the books, and he died. She's in prison, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Or no? She must be out of prison by now. She went to prison though.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that she should go to prison for that because he was an active participant.
That's the argument with Alec Baldwin.
Oh, interesting.
She wasn't an active participant in getting shot. Like she wasn't supposed to actually
Helena
shoot.
Hutchins was telling him to point the gun. That's the argument he's
Point
making.
it towards me.
She's filming. She's like, I want you to do these things.
Oh, point at me and shoot.
I don't.
I mean,
know
I
if
gotta-
the
It
trigger-
wasn't in the script to pull the trigger.
No.
Right. I don't
They
believe
said.
it. I don't believe it for a second. I think Alec Baldwin killed that lady.
What was the double jeopardy you said with the Baldwin case that he couldn't be tried again? Was
Well,
he
yeah, if you're
charged before?
I
dropped
thought so.
the charges
I thought-
before.
I think they were bringing
Oh.
charges, then dropped them.
What were the charges they dropped?
I think it was. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was the same thing. The Rust shooting incident. So let's see. Background: union disputes and safety concerns. Look at this. The boss is fighting with the staff, has a meeting with the woman he's complaining about, then shoots and kills her. Yeah, but it was a movie, so that's fine. Dude, I don't buy it.
I mean,
They were actually complaining about safety. Like, dude, the pieces lined up so perfectly for this. To argue it was a coincidence is just nonsense to me. She is complaining to him about the safety of all these guys. Well, that proves it. It was an accident. See? She was complaining about safety, and then she died.
I will not consider that an accident. Someone intentionally seeded bullets into his gun so that he would shoot and kill somebody.
Ian, he had the bullets on him. They searched him, and they were like, Alec has the bullets.
I mean, were they the actual? Were they the same bullets that
Yes.
go in the gun? Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
Alec Baldwin had the bullets. Let me pull this up.
I don't know, man.
Add the bullets.
Like I said, I mean, there's not really like I don't feel like there's a problem establishing motive or establishing opportunity or ability.
For the record, it was involuntary manslaughter charge dropped in April 2023, and then Helena Hutchins also was charged with involuntary
Said
manslaughter.
they cited reasons for dropping it was that they needed more time to investigate.
They said they had new evidence.
Yeah. Which is an interesting reason to drop the charges.
So I didn't know you could charge somebody and then drop the charges and then recharge them the same thing. Maybe it's because he wasn't found not guilty.
Yeah, if you,
Yeah,
you
it
have to
wasn't
actually
brought
be-
to trial.
Yeah, you have to actually try, not just.
Dude, I feel like if they open the can of worms on this, and all the cast and crew, a lot of them would get popped for like firing live rounds on set at the very least, which you're not supposed to do. A lot of people would get blacklisted in the industry, and I don't know that necessarily they were committing crimes by doing that, but they were definitely violating policy, company policy. There's not supposed to be any live ammunition on set.
Well, like with that too, I don't think they'll go after them because there's not like, unless they record themselves doing it, like evidence of them doing it. But obviously with the murder or, just death of her, there's the evidence that it happened, so.
And then the shooting director.
That was the same bullet, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it went through
yeah,
Helena
so
Hutchins.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
there's
mean-
any charges for that.
What?
Charges for that and hitting that guy.
I don't know why. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's reckless endangerment, Or I mean, they could get him on a battery charge or something like that because they actually did. He did injure him. And if they're going to charge him for killing the woman, why wouldn't they charge him for shooting the other guy?
Makes sense.
Yeah. What are all of his charges?
I don't know. It's hard to find this stuff though because they've rewritten so many articles about it.
Yeah.
But the big news. So what like 5 live rounds were found, and I think a handful of them were in his gun belt. So I'm trying to find that specific citation. But it's mostly been removed from.
Yeah, he has criminal culpability in the death of Helena Hutchins and the shooting of Joe Souza. So yeah, they're gonna charge him for shooting the dude too.
Okay.
So
This is
Yeah,
the
I gotta
first I've
find
heard
the,
that he had the bullets on his belt.
No,
as
we
well.
talked about it like 15 times, bro. It's just been
the first
so
I've
long.
seen of it. Yeah, maybe it's.
We gotta. Yeah, because it was in the original investigation, and when that happened, it was like, boom, there it is. Yeah. Alec Baldwin had live rounds on his person. I think that makes it open and shut.
yeah, I mean, like I said,
I think I might have found it in the Vanity Fair article.
But he had the.
2 loose 45 bullets were discovered on top of a prop cart. A third was in the bandolier worn by actor Jason Ackles. The fourth was in the gun belt worn by Baldwin. A fifth was found in the box of dummy ammunition with Gutierrez.
So he had a live round in his gun belt. Live round. We'll clarify for the show. He had the live ammunition, the same kind of bullet used for the gun was on his person.
I think that it was in other actors' bandolier kind of indicates that he didn't like. if he did do it on purpose, and he was the one that, if he was intending it, then that would have been like a red herring that he would have done. I just don't think it was.
I just think it's so dang crazy, but there is the reality of innocent until proven guilty. That if Alec Baldwin really wanted to kill this woman, takes a handful of bullets, mixes it into a box, puts a couple in his gun belt, loads the gun, kills her, and then goes, but look, there's other bullets under here too. Like, it must have been somebody else. Like, crazy. Alec Baldwin pointed the gun, pulled the trigger, and then lied and said he didn't pull the trigger. And investigators found he lied. The gun does not operate.
I had no more
What
builds.
is it, a single action?
That's
Meaning you have to
terrible.
cock the
Is that a
hammer
new
and pull the
guy?
trigger. He lied about it. I think there's a strong possibility. I think it's reasonable to assume the woman he was fighting with over issues on set, he killed her. He's a hothead. It's a pattern of behavior. He had the means and the motive to do it.
Yeah, punch the guy over the parking spot.
But think about this. Think about this. Let's imagine that Alec Baldwin really wanted to kill this lady. Yeah, punch the guy, calling his daughter a...
I don't care about that. Take your gun out, kid. Take your fucking gun out. That was awful. I'm gonna die, and I deserve to. Bet you finish healing. Come on. Quicker, quicker. You took way too long. The kid was trash. Fuck. I was going to side edit that bottom left where he was standing, but then I was like, maybe I should build the wall to the left, and I didn't do either. That sucked dick.
Fish or no fish? No fish. There's no way this is not a bot. No one lands here. Well, that was him. I was like, I'm here. Fuck you. Two. No, no. Mm-hmm.
Was that my build? I thought that was mine. I should have just stayed out of it. These kids fight fucking computers to get special weapons. Is that a llama? I think that's a Senor Llama. See how this works out. Don't want to do that now, do we? Nope. No, sorry. Jesus Christ, I hate that. fuck to say about that one. I thought he was a bot for a half a second, and then I was like, oh, I could just not do anything, and then he wasn't a bot. Don't let me die. Where'd this bitch go? Cunt motherfucker. Nope, didn't want to do that. Sorry. I don't like to use them, but you left me no choice. Why won't you recognize me? They drop. Ah. Fuck me. You gotta clean up like the edit shots and shit.
My shadow's little footsteps. What do I do? I'm just gonna keep it. Fuck it. Want to get the other? It's not there. Oh, I have a bounty going? That wasn't my bounty? Wasn't my bounty. That second backflip always fucking... It's a heavy flip. I saw footsteps. You son of a bitch. He's a little pussy. Get the fuck off your roof. Three, two, one. Don't ever call me a bitch, but call this guy a bitch, because he's fucking backing out of a fight. I had to fucking climb a literal mountain to get to him. This little pussy's fucking crawling away. if that's a computer chasing me. Did he just run? Or is he out here? There he is. Oh shit. Hit your shots, hit your shots, hit your shots, and you got them. Like, easily. Honestly, the fucking bouncing of the slurp juice was fucking me up. This might be my last game. I got work tomorrow, so I won't be on tomorrow at all, but Sunday I should be on. Probably later, but you know. Oops. Who the fuck is shooting? Got 2 kids here. Give me one more shot. Give me one more shot. Well, I just killed myself. Hit your shot. Fucking hit your shot. Kid's trash. Like, you beat kids so much better than him, and then you die to him. Thought that was my cone. I don't know, I was trying to get fancy there. I did too much, obviously. Yeah, that was a pretty shit. Well, it ended shitty. It started pretty well. I was playing solid and then too much toward the end. Do a quick run through. I haven't touched the guitar today, but you can offer me a diamond-plated pearl. You can send me all the riches in the world. You can tempt me with the palaces of kings. I'd give 'em back in a big old sack and keep the simple things. I've got the simple things. I've got the rain and spring. Got spicy chicken wings and French fried onion rings. You can line me up a mile of limousines. For me, it don't add up to a hill of beans. I got no hankering for grabbing your brass ring. It's crystal clear, I'll stay right here and keep the simple things. I've got the summer breeze, got 16 cans of peas, a 2-speed window fan when it's 93 degrees. So forgive me for not grabbing your brass ring. It's crystal clear, I'll stay right here and keep the simple things. It's crystal clear, I'll stay right here and keep the simple things. I've got the simple things. I've got the brain thing. Chicken wings, French fried onion. And it was solid. It was solid. I wasn't just kind of mumbling it, but solid. Probably the cleanest I've had it. One part still doesn't make sense to me. Even when I listen to it, it's just an awkward time. I'll be on, I don't even know today is Friday, Saturday. I work Sunday, I'll be on Sunday. Follow and